Books. We love books. um, Welcome, vinyl community, music community, cassette community, and people of the world. Not showing any cassettes today, so don't get your hopes up, but in a future video, I promise. I did just place an order for some. Yeah, so, you see I'm... Hey, Matt. The 8-track community, yes. I have one 8-track tape, so... and a little 8-track... I don't even want to call it a deck, because a player, I guess, would be the right word, because it literally just plays. That's all it does. So, ooh, excellent. Matt is making me an 8-track. That is awesome. I'm excited. For me, 8-tracks, there's a ton of nostalgia. So, yeah. Anyway, all right. So before I get too far off track here, I am doing an unboxing for FeedBands. I have a DVD, some CDs, and a couple of records. Yeah. So, but I did want to mention last night, Christina and I, my wife Christina and I, we went to Dodgers White Sox game with her brothers and our nephew, and oh man, it was a great game. As you can tell, I'm a White Sox fan, so originally from Peoria, Illinois, so you know. Plus, the White Sox was the first team I ever liked, so yeah. Anyway, I'm so proud of my White Sox because they played 2 games back to back against the best team in baseball, and they didn't look bad at all. And bear in mind, the White Sox are like one of the worst teams in the league right now, so I'm pretty proud of my White Sox. And the game last night was just a nail biter, definitely. Anyway, all right, so let's get to the unboxing here. Yes, so I'm a little nervous. Now, it's this kind of packaging, and already you can see what the problem is. I think, maybe not. Maybe it shows better on this end. I don't remember. Anyway, here you can kind of see on the label here. There's a nice crease. Hey, DJ Legion. Yeah, there's a nice crease there. So I'm a little nervous, and also I'm a little nervous because FeedBands had, I guess, what I think is their first delayed pressing. The July record never came, was never delivered, and they sent out an email saying that the July and the August records would come together. Well, this doesn't feel like 2 records, unless they've switched to a lighter weight vinyl, which I know they haven't. But so I'm a little curious to find out, like, okay, is this the July record and the August one is still coming, or is this the August one and they forgot to send the July one? I love FeedBands, don't get me wrong, but you know, these businesses, they need to be sure and, you know, stay in contact. They were good enough to let us know that, you know, the July one was delayed. But yeah. All right, so an unboxing nonetheless. And I'm certain it's just the 1 record. All right. So far, so good. So we have all the contents there. There, I think that's the back of the release. I was shown their sticker before. It's, you know, no frills, but you know, it's free, so what the hey? Do people say that still? What the hey? Or was that like so third grade? Okay, so I think we're safe. Um, First, I'll show the record itself. I'm loving the artwork on this. This is Sunsquabi Deluxe, or Sunsquabi, and I guess the album is Deluxe. Love the artwork on that. That's so cool. Very sci-fi, a little bit disco, a little bit beach party, pool party. Um, there's a lot going on there. um, yeah. So now they have it where you can, you know, preview the albums and that kind of thing. But I didn't want to do it because I like just putting on the record and having no idea whatsoever what I'm gonna hear. So yeah, yeah. Matt says it's very 60s or early 70s. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Again, I love FeedBands, and the goal is to never unsubscribe from them again. Now, it's interesting. Usually they come with some sort of insert, and there's no insert in this one. It's basically just the cover as you saw, and the record. They do use these nice poly-lined black donut hole sleeves. Ooh, this is a nice one. Yeah, this is pretty nice. They have the nice custom labels now. It used to be that in the early days of FeedBands, they would always just have like I think it was the FeedBands logo on it on every single release. So it was like, nah. And then that's even better. A dog with a rocket backpack. A rocket pack, I guess it's called. And look at that color. And it looks like, yeah, it's half. You can see that side is translucent, I think is the proper word, and this is opaque. Very nice. I mean, yeah, they're beautiful records that they release, and the music. I don't think I've ever been disappointed. The dog graphic reminds you of Button Moon, which was a kids show from the early 80s in England. Interesting. Well, there he is. Oh man. Yeah. So let's see what it says on the invoice here. It doesn't tell me. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not clear if this is the July or the August. A little disappointing there, but eh. There we go. I'm just glad it's not broken. Ah, go Cubbies. Yeah, DJ Legion chimed in with Go Cubbies. I got my white socks, yeah. It's funny, this hat was... occasionally I import things usually from China. Like this hat was $7 on eBay, so it's not like I have special connections or anything, but I like to say I import products because, you know, it makes me sound like I'm in the know or... Oh, anyway. So yeah, I'll be curious to hear this. Very glad it wasn't broken. but a little concerned that it was just the one record. So we'll see. We shall see. All right. So on to. All right. I'm not gonna get into it a lot again. I did mention on my last live video that I had just watched. The camera's a little high here. I had just watched this documentary and how it was a little bit heavy, but I loved it so much, so much. I don't know. There's just something about seeing an artist, like, towards the end of their life. Like, I don't know if you're familiar, how familiar you are with the life of Monet, the famous Impressionist painter. He was known for doing painting water lilies, I guess they were. That's one of his like classic paintings, and he he did essentially that same painting over and over and over and over and over, at different times of the day, so the light would be a little different, the color would be a little different, and he apparently did this over some years, and meanwhile his vision was going, and and so they started becoming more and more abstract. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. But I don't know. There's just something about, and it's very tragic. But there's just something about seeing an artist, towards the end of their career, or unfortunately sometimes even their life, and I don't know. It just makes you think about life, and what we're all doing here, and what we're capable of doing. What he did in this with having Alzheimer's was just incredible. So I had to buy a copy of this. It's so good, just heartbreaking. I had to pick it up. So I pulled a mat, and I went to, the wife and I were, like 4 days a week. The Pet Adoption Center and Thrift Shop is available for accepting donations. And so we were donating some stuff. So, I pulled the mat and took the opportunity to look around. So we bought a bunch of books, mostly for our little free library. I don't know if you're familiar with little free libraries, but in our front yard we have a little free library. It's essentially a glorified mailbox, with like a little window door on it that people can come by and take books, leave books, whatever. We're huge book lovers. Books were my first love, over even before music. So so books and I go way back. No, but yeah. So we bought a bunch of books, and then yeah, I got some music, of course. So I'm pretty happy with the CDs. Oh. Matt was just saying that a house down the street from them. Next time I'm over at your house, I'll have to look for that, because I keep books in my trunk just for that purpose, for leaving at these just whatever little free libraries we find. Yeah. But Matt was basically saying that there's one down the street from him. Cool. So this everything was full price at the thrift store on that day, um, which was a little unfortunate because I ended up putting a lot of stuff back, and it was good stuff, not great stuff, but it was good stuff, such as what was it? A Jackson Brown Greatest Hits CD, which a lot of people say phooey, but I like him, so um, I've enjoyed his music since I was a teenager. So, but I did manage to get some good ones. Basically $2 per CD. Um, I could not put this one back. John Mellencamp, The Best That I Could Do, 1978 to 1988. So I think the first 10 years of his career. I absolutely love John Mellencamp. There's just something about his music. It really makes me feel like I'm from down south and proud of it. Even though it's not true. I think Peoria, Illinois would be considered the North. Oh, the Scarecrow album. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, so thrilled to pick this up. I Need a Lover. Oh man, yeah. Hurt So Good. Jack and Diane. That's like possibly the ultimate. Agatha's gonna go bark at someone mowing their lawn. How dare they mow their lawn? Crumbling Down, Pink Houses. ROCK in the USA. And I showed a 45 of this. One of my favorite songs by him, Paper and Fire. Oh, man. So good. I love John Mellencamp, man. I need to see, like, is he still... He has to still be making music. Jimmy Somerville did a bizarre yet strangely brilliant reggae version of Hurt So Good in 1995. Interesting. That's, oh, of Bronski Beat. Okay. And the Communards, but I would be more familiar with Bronski Beat. Agatha, settle down. She's being a good little watchdog, but yeah, so very, very cool. I had never seen this album by Dire Straits, and so this is On Every Street. Agatha, settle down. It's hard to read the. Let's see. The opening track is Calling Elvis. On Every Street. When It Comes to You. Fade to Black. The Bug. You and Your Friend. Heavy Fuel. Iron Hand. Ticket to Heaven. My Parties. Planet of New Orleans. And How Long. Yeah. Cool. I had never seen this one, so I had to pick it up. Oh, you don't have it, Matt? And DJ Legion had a cassette single of... You mean a cassingle? Had a cassette single of Calling Elvis. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Elvis, yeah. Elvis, yesterday was the 40th anniversary of his death. That's crazy. It was 77, I guess it would be, because we're in 17. Yeah, I was 5 years old when he died, basically. Well, almost 5 years old. A month shy. Yeah, we're all getting old, that's for sure. And originally I didn't see this when I was looking through the CDs, and I had that one that I mentioned earlier. Anyway, I had another CD, and I put that one back in lieu of this one. Another album I've never seen before, so I did not hesitate to pick this one up. So Brian Ferry, Frantic. Very cool. Yeah. And again, they were $2 each. So, man, it's a slow morning today. There's only one person watching, and thank you for sticking around. I guess I'm showing boring stuff today. I don't know. Anyway, um, oh, it's just DJ Legion. Well, you know what? I'm glad. Oh, Matt's back, I guess. Where'd you go, Matt? Yeah. Anyway, people don't show. You never left. Interesting. It said you left. The 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 viewer count went down, but I'm glad you didn't leave. So country music is starting to gain a foothold in the vinyl community. A lot more people are showing it. Um, what's his channel name? I was just watching his video. He usually shows metal. It's not Scott Waters. um, that annoys me. He usually shows metal or hard rock, that kind of stuff. But just, I think yesterday he posted a country update. So that was Harmless Rebel. Thank you so much, DJ Legion. Harmless Rebel. Ah, don't you hate that? It's only when when I'm filming and then all the names leave me. Harmless Rebel, really good video. He actually he was showing a lot of bigger name country artists and then some more modern ones, maybe a little lesser known. At least I wasn't familiar with some of them. And he mentioned Bloodshot Records. So I went on to their site and I went to their sales section, and they have these. It's like a bundle where you can get 3 tapes for $5. So I ordered 2 of those, and they had a list of the titles you could pick, but I was like, I don't know these artists anyway. Well, I think one of them I did know, but I just said, surprise me, just send me whatever. So I got 2 of those. So I do have, what is that, 6? 6 country cassettes on the way. So looking forward to that. And so I'm glad to see that, country music people aren't afraid to show it in the vinyl community anymore. So that being said, after that huge build-up, Vince Gill these days, I don't know the story of this album by any means. I should check out Moot Davis. Interesting. I'll try and remember that name. Unfortunately, these comments after the video, they're just gone. I hate that. They need to save those somehow. Moot Davis. I'll just remember Miles Davis and think of a moot point. So Moot Davis, although anyway. So I was glad to pick this up. Don't know the story behind it. Moot the Hoople. Oh, that was Matt Hayes. Moot the Hoople instead of Mott the Hoople. Yeah. I'm assuming this was just an album, but as you see, it's a box set. It says 43 brand new songs on 4 CDs, and then includes 64-page book of lyrics, photos, and liner notes. So, and this was originally priced at $8, and I was trying to keep the cost down there. So I said, well, because she said it's $2 per disc. I was like, well, can you go any lower on it? So she did it for $6. So I was happy with that. And I feel guilty doing that because I know the money's going to like my favorite cause. But at the same time, it's money. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. I'm not like the biggest Vince Gill fan, but he is, you know, a huge, huge name in country music. Um, yeah, so this is the booklet. Just the booklet alone is, you know, there's plenty of text there, some pictures, lyrics, more pictures, liner notes. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. And this, of course, makes me think of another fat bearded guy talking about records, and Billy Hurst. I do have soon. I'm going to be showing, or I'm going to be doing a video, a little bit about Billy Hurst. I'm not sure if I'll do it in one of these live videos, or I need to start, you know, doing non-live videos again, just because they, you know, they get more viewings and that sort of thing. They gain me more subscribers. They're more beneficial to me. All right, so here the first one. Remembering there were 4. This is "Working on a Big Chill," the Rockin' record. Very cool. The Reason Why, and it looks like each of these is themed. And I'm assuming these were recorded, you know, in basically the same time frame. We don't know how long that time frame is, or at least I don't. But it sounds like he kind of divided them into different themes. The Reason Why, the Groovy record. So I'm very curious to hear these, definitely. And you have to load up my CD changer. It's one of those 6 CD magazine style CD changers. Some Things Never Get Old, the Country and Western record, so it sounds more like a classic sound. Very cool. And the last one, Little Brother, the acoustic record. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about this. I guess there's a picture under each one. It's cool. Yeah, so he's Vince Gill, to the best of my knowledge, is basically sort of in that group with, you know, Randy Travis, Garth Brooks, you know, kind of that era, which, I mean, it's a good era of country music, don't get me wrong. When I first started getting back into country a little bit, I kind of became a big fan of Garth Brooks. So I like that era. Of course, the classic stuff, you know, the big guns of country history. That, for me, that's still, you know, where it's at. But these guys too, from this era, Vince Gill, Garth Brooks, all those. Yeah, they beat the modern country hands down in most cases. So yeah, so those were the CDs, and then just a couple of records to show. And these, you'll remember the sort of big haul I had at the record store. Someone had made a not the record store, the thrift store. Someone had made a big donation of records, and I went on the second day, and a lot of the best stuff was gone, but there was still plenty of good stuff. And I went back and picked up a couple that I had originally passed on. First of all, the Cape Brothers Band, Fire on the Tracks radio station promo. This is one of those I wasn't too sure about. I mean, just looking at it, it looks slightly suspect, I guess. Like it could be a little too, I don't know, blah. But I'm gonna give it a chance because it's basically roots rock, blues rock, I forget and soul, or blue-eyed soul specifically. So that's really what kind of sold me on it, because I'm big into soul music. I love soul music. Yeah, so I'm willing to take a chance on it. These up here are the actual Cape brothers, and these are their bandmates. Yeah. So a blind buy for me, other than knowing what the genres are. And this one, I'm not sure why I passed on this one originally, because it has kind of a cool cover. And this is another interesting blend of genres. So this is Joe Boxer's Like Gangbusters. Boxer Beat? It does. This is the first track. See, Matt, you I show an album and you know at least one track off of it. It's just amazing. But basically, I picked this one up partly because of the cover. It has that kind of look to it, and supposedly it's a blend of new wave and blue-eyed soul. So interesting. So I thought, I'm gonna pick it up after all, and the records are just $1 there. So there were probably more I could have picked up just as blind buys, but anyway, that's all I have to show. A much lower viewership today. I considered doing the video in the evening because the wife would be at work and I could be set up by the stereo, Anyway, yeah, so there's not too many people watching today. I'm slightly disappointed. It's just the hardcore fans. Oh, and one just left. And I'm also wondering, how accurate this viewership number is, because Matt had said that he was still here when it showed only one person, which I was thinking was DJ Legion. Anyway, strange things going on. But I guess maybe this feature of the app is still, buggy, or I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so I am going to be doing more just regular videos. I do need to film the Willie Nelson collection. I'm ready to do that now. I did get those Willie Nelson 45s. I think I had mentioned those in a previous video. So I got those. I just need to put together the video. I'm not sure if I'm gonna, like, be holding them up like this, or if I'm gonna do like a top-down look. I've done the top-down look type videos before, where it's just showing the item I'm talking about. But to me, it always seems a little strange to have like this mysterious disembodied voice talking about something that is on the screen. In some cases it works, I guess, but I don't know. Anyone have any thoughts on that? Yeah, so Not too much. So this might be a shorter video. I will be curious to see. Um, yeah, Matt. So Matt says that he doesn't mind the top-down videos, but it depends what's being shown. Because essentially, usually when I show records, I do this and this. So it's pretty rare for me to take the record out and show that, just because it can be kind of cumbersome. And so in my mind I'm thinking I would lay things in sort of layers where I could show the cover, flip it over, show the back, set that aside. The inner sleeve, if it's a custom inner sleeve, would be there, so you can see that. Set that aside. You see the record, But I don't know if it really needs to be all that detailed. And I do have quite a few Willie Nelson records, so I don't want to make it too long. I don't want to rush through it and do a quick and dirty video. I do want to do my collection justice, because I'm pretty proud of it. He has a ton of more records that I need to get, but I do love Willie Nelson. I was actually thinking, because I always say that hands down Johnny Cash is my favorite, and I still believe that to be true. But honestly, I own a heck of a lot more Willie Nelson albums, and I listen to him a lot more than I do Johnny Cash. So I don't know. I do really. Of course, I also own more Kenny Rogers albums. I actually have quite a few of those as well. I don't know. I don't know if. Yeah, I just don't know. Now Kenny Rogers, I don't put him on the level of even Willie Nelson, and certainly not Johnny Cash. When I was young, I loved Kenny Rogers, and his album The Gambler, excellent, and his earlier stuff with First Edition, great stuff. But I don't know. His stuff in the 80s got very adult contemporary, a little too easy listening. Although his duet with Dolly Parton was good, what was it, Islands in the Stream or something like that. But it's kind of, it has that feeling. But yeah, I think I've mentioned. Maybe I'll go ahead and mention it. I was debating if I should mention it, but I have this very, very, very strange connection with Kenny Rogers, and yeah. So my niece is the granddaughter of Kenny Rogers. It's very strange, but true. Yeah. So I have an interesting connection to Kenny Rogers. Yeah, my sister's daughter. No, no. Kenny Rogers' son, Kenny Rogers Jr., was for some time dating my sister, and he actually attended my wedding. Very bizarre. And he's in the videos of the wedding to prove it. Yeah, very bizarre. So, but it's my understanding that he's kind of on the outs with his father. Um, they have some form of relationship, but we don't know that um, Kenny Rogers has even seen his granddaughter or what, you know. So anyway, very interesting. I I have other bizarre things. Since you know the music is done with, and uh, a couple interesting other facts to mention. Uh, my dad was was born in a log cabin, which that's not. He was born in 1935, and um, born in Virginia, and I think Rose Hill, Virginia, and basically grew up in a log cabin, or was born in a log cabin. um, there's this picture where, as a senior, he had gone back to the location of the cabin, and there were just like a couple logs left. Very interesting. And then my mother, we like to say that she was raised in the jungle, which is true. And when we were in school, we always like to tell kids that, and they'd be like, "What? You're lying." But the reality of it is, my grandparents were missionaries, and uh, they they went down and took their two kids to the jungles of Peru, and as a result, my mom speaks fluent Spanish, and many times people are shocked, absolutely shocked, uh, that she can understand them. An example would be she was once standing in the line at Stater Brothers, and a couple of Hispanic gentlemen were talking about her, and so she just started speaking to them in Spanish, and I guess they got all embarrassed. And then she also knows the sort of native language there, Kampa, and it's really bizarre because since she was there when she was a kid, it's really ingrained in her, and sometimes she dreams in Kampa, like she'll speak in her dreams, or in her sleep, and be speaking Kampa. So it's really bizarre. So those are just some interesting facts about me, or about my family anyway. Uh, oh man. Anyway, yeah. Huh. I'll have to look into that. Matt was saying he was wondering if that's where the Okampa came from, or maybe was inspired from in Star Trek Voyager. Speaking of Star Trek Voyager, I'm gonna watch. There's a new series coming out. I'm not like a huge Star Trek fan. I basically pretty much just like the original, and the movies. But I'm I'm gonna watch the new one that's coming out. I think it's Star Trek Discovery. I'm not sure when that starts. Soon, I think. Um, and then I think I might go back and try and watch like the Next Generation and the series after that. Some of the series after that I watched a little bit, like bits here and there. But I'm a Doctor Who fan. That's what it boils down to. People ask once in a while, are you a Star Wars fan or a Star Trek fan? I mean, you can obviously be both at the same time, but yeah, usually my response is I'm a Doctor Who fan, and they're like, "What?" Well, not so much anymore because now more people know what Doctor Who is. But originally, when I liked Doctor Who, I was one of a select few. Yeah. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough and um, sort of strayed enough from music. Although the Kenny Rogers story was perhaps interesting because it's music related. Um, I hope no no family members are gonna be upset with me for mentioning that. But anyway, I don't think so. It's just bizarre, I have to say it out loud sometimes to remember that it's real. Yeah, so I do have. I showed at the beginning. This the CD is supposed to be coming. I, some of the stuff on Amazon is bizarre. It says ships in 1 to 3 weeks. It's like, why? Why would it take 1 to 3 weeks to ship? And it's not being shipped internationally either. So I don't know what the story with that is. But supposedly the CD's coming, which I'm excited because the song, oh, where is it? I'm Not Gonna Miss You. And this actually has the music video on it for I'm Not Gonna Miss You. That song is just, wow. Wow. And to think that was that was one of his last, you know, essentially one of his last songs that he did. That's just mind blowing because it's so good. Hey, 3 minutes a day. Oh, excellent. Yeah, there's not many people watching today, so I'm curious about that. Usually I'm closer to 9 or 10 people, sometimes more. So anyway, but yeah, that CD's coming, which I'm gonna be thrilled to hear that song. With this DVD, I am a little disappointed that the only extras on it are the music video for "I'm Not Gonna Miss You," and then a Volunteers of America public service announcement, and an All Be Me Alzheimer's Fund public service announcement, which they're basically just commercials. So, so a little disappointed by the extras on this, but it was cheap. It was new. I mean, not new. It was used. And there's, I find it hard to believe that there wasn't a booklet that was supposed to come with this. I find that very hard to believe, actually. But the DVD is flawless. Yeah, so I'll be glad to be able to watch this once in a while. It probably won't get a ton of play, but some of the performances on this are absolutely amazing, and but it is a little depressing. So, but I do still highly recommend this. One of the best music documentaries I've ever seen. It's so good, so good. Yeah. Anyway, well, we're just under 50 minutes, and again, I'm not sure why there's fewer viewers today. Maybe people are getting sick of the live videos. But I'll wrap it up with this, and for those few of you that were here, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. You're welcome, Matt.